things. So he's very well educated.
PhD in rock and roll.
Welcome once again to Chill Filter, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to, but you probably should. You probably are, and that's why we like you. On this week's episode, a long-awaited reunion between Cole and I. You guys haven't missed out too much. You got 2 weeks. And not that anyone really should miss out on hearing us, but you know what? Some of you guys like
People
us.
love us, Robbie.
You know what? Speaking of which, we passed a little bit of a milestone. Not that we keep track of these things, but I saw it was approaching, so I kind of obsessed on it because I was like, oh. But last week, we had 1,000 downloads in a month period.
More than 1,000.
More than 1,000, yeah. I mean, not like a million, but more than 1,000, which I think is pretty cool. It's just pretty neat to think that, you know what? Gosh darn it, people like us too. And that or they hate listen. Steve. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for listening, folks. Appreciate it. It's just, whenever our wives say to us, ugh, you're doing that podcast thing. Now we can say, we don't want to let down 1,000 people in the next month.
Exactly.
So, actually, it's probably more like the same 250.
No.
But 250 is still good. Or that one super fan that's listened 900 times.
Yeah, Thank exactly. Anyway. We love you.
If you're one of the people that's been listening lately, reach out and touch me and Cole and hit us up on Instagram at Chill Filtered.
Yeah.
Is it Chill Filtered Podcast or just Chill Filtered on Instagram?
I think it's Chill Filtered Podcast. I should know this. But it's also Chill Filtered Podcast at gmail.com in case you don't have Instagram. Yeah. Or be like a few of our listeners, such as Miles Ferguson and David Rockefeller, who get a Instagram just to reach out and hang out with us.
Yeah, we appreciate that. But yeah, if you don't want to get on Instagram and you're listening and you hear what whiskey would you choose, go ahead and email us at chillfilteredpodcast at gmail.com. I don't know. I feel like I threw one too many ats in there.
It's
you know why I did that? Because I'm excited. It's been 2 weeks.
I know.
Like 2 weeks since we talked, Cole. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's weird. So I'll start with this, and then I'll probably get to the good stuff. I have been feeling anxious lately, and I hate feeling anxious. But I think it's going away. Let's hope it's going away. I don't know what it is, and it's not caffeine. Haven't been drinking the caffeine, but maybe it'll just pass. Maybe it's a seasonal thing or something like that. But
is it secondhand caffeine? Has your wife been lighting up some caffeine blunts?
Yeah, she's been kissing me with those caffeine lips.
Oh, geez.
Mm-hmm.
I like to.
No, she doesn't kiss me. She's like, "Oh, do I have to kiss you again?" And like, stop.
Is she not physically affectionate?
She's not, and I am.
That's Chelsea. Like that's one of my love language. Although I think Chelsea's grown. Like she was like, you know what? Like you're not very physically affectionate in public, and I was like, I didn't think you wanted me to be. So
yeah, that's great.
I am. It is great. No, I love it. No, I feel like we're at a point in our marriage where we're really growing. Yeah, still, and like stuff like that. It's just like certain things are just getting better, and it's nice. It's like it's easier to communicate and not be hurt.
Nice.
Because
we should grow to Virginia and hang out with us and grow together out here for a week.
Because Virginia
is for lovers.
Yeah,
and lover brothers.
Oh.
No, let's just go with brothers and lovers.
Should stop that there.
Let's separate it.
Yeah. Got to keep them separated.
Oh, I was literally listening to that this morning.
Were you?
Come out and play by The Offspring. And you know what it made me realize? That Smash by The Offspring, the album, is like honestly one of the greatest albums of the 90s.
It's really good. I mean, front to back. It's
front to back.
There's not a bad song on it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you don't like The Offspring.
Yeah. But like I heard someone recently say, and it was like a musician or something, and he took it back apparently, but he said originally that The Offspring sold out. And I thought about that. I was like, did they sell out? Or
every stadium tour?
Yeah. But they I respect them. And like if you look at them as a band, like just by the looks of them, you're like, yeah, they look like sellouts. But you listen to their music and you're like, this is not sellout kind of music. So
well,
at least they're 90s days.
I can respect them.
Uh-huh.
Although just the tone of like when it hits Americana hit, it was like, oh, it changed.
Let's skip that. Yeah.
But that's fair. It's fair. Mm-hmm. I just got done saying like I am growing and learning new ways, and I'm changing. People evolve. Changing. So if that's the way they evolved and it made them some more money, then I don't know. Is that selling out? I don't know. You get to a point.
Evolve is a word.
You get to a point in life too where it's like, oh, I need to think about my finances more. I can't just live day to day and okay, totally. Pretty fly for a white guy. Make me $1. Here we go. I don't know. Yeah. I can't blame somebody,
You got a good point about pretty fly for a white guy.
Although, I don't know. I like them. Dexter Holland, was a Harvard graduate. Noodles is pretty great.
Wait, what? Really?
I think so. He's like that, or maybe it's Stanford. I don't know. I know he has a higher level.
Smart guy.
He has a prestigious school that he went and.
Was that pre-Offspring or was it like during Offspring?
Oh man, I don't know.
Because it's like Weezer, where Rivers, like, I think he went back to Harvard after the band got started.
Hopefully, I'm not thinking of that.
He might be, because Rivers definitely went to Harvard.
Yeah. Anyway, how else are you doing besides the anxiety? I mean, you want to?
No. It's things are good. I got my exam coming up, but I'm not feeling great about it. But that's okay. I'm not going to fight anyone in the street, at least thus far. I have surrendered to the idea that I will likely fail, and that's okay. It's another practice exam, as Miles Ferguson told me recently. So yeah, life's good. Let's see. Oh, we're going apple picking this weekend. There's a really nice orchard out here in the beautiful state of Virginia. And
just one orchard. Everybody converges from the whole state.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch. But hey, we're no Washington State, where that's like the apple state, apparently. Where George Washington cut down the apple tree. You know what I'm saying?
You know where the Fuji apple comes from?
Not Japan.
Not Japan, but it's marketed towards Japan from Washington.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
I believe that's. Gosh, I'm doubting. Like I feel like I had these facts in me, because Dexter Holland, he went from the University of Southern California, but
still a good school. Good school.
Yes, but he's got a degree in a bachelor's in biology and a master's degree in molecular biology and a PhD in molecular biology. So he's very well educated.
PhD in rock and roll.
A bachelor's in rock, a PhD in roll. Check it out. I can tumble.
So another quick note on The Offspring. I didn't always love the song Self-Esteem, but lately I think that is a masterpiece of a song.
No, you think so?
Because there is the perfect level in that song of self-deprecation. And it's like, I love Moose in the back. For those on YouTube, get a good view of Moose, the farter himself.
You might have, if you're on the podcast, you might have heard him licking his paws a little while ago.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And I didn't have the heart to take him out today.
But yeah, I think it's just a great song, and like, I honestly think it's the perfect mixture of like self-deprecating and like, I don't know, like it in a way proves a point, but it's still rock. Like it's still like a good song,
Yeah. Speaking of, have you ever? I know I've recommended it. I may have even said it on the podcast. Have you ever listened to this Song Exploder?
Yeah, totally.
Podcast. Okay, so they have I think hopefully it's the same guy, but they have a Netflix show now.
No way.
Yeah, so I was watching. Like, there's not a lot of songs that like. So that's the thing with that podcast.
That's the hard thing. Some of the songs you don't know, even though you know the band.
Or you don't care about. But like, they just take a song. They go to the people recorded it.
Although the National did Sea of Love, which was a great choice by them.
Yes. And they just say, how did it happen? And what about this? And they just break down every little piece of it. But on Netflix, I was watching the REM one on Losing My Religion. And nice. it was really cool. But anyway, it's just talking about like the process. And Michael Stipe is pretty cool because he's just talking about it and talking about self-deprecation.
Dude, talk about self-deprecation to the other extreme, in my opinion. That's why I don't like REM, to be honest.
I do like REM. I don't like everything by REM.
I respect that.
I do like REM. They're very talented. Good stuff. Athens, Georgia. There you go.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Yeah. Did I tell you? I think I mentioned it. Maybe Upcoming mentioned it, but the Yeah Yeahs put out a new album, and I officially like it.
Cole says yes, yes, yes to the Yeah Yeahs.
That's right.
Yeah. There you go.
Check box 3 times. Yeah. So yeah, things are good. And then I'm also going on Saturday, real quick, before I ask you about your life and stuff. There is a big brewery, in a way, sadly, but in not a way, sadly, they got bought up by Anheuser-Busch, which is fine. It happens with some craft distilleries, but it's called Devil's Backbone Brewery. Okay. I said distillery, but brewery. They're a beer place, and they're putting out their first whiskey this weekend.
Ooh.
And it's a bottled and bond malt whiskey. And I'm excited. And I think that's amazing for their first batch. It's a malt whiskey that they made themselves. And we'll see how good it is. It's $130, and I don't even think it's a $750. But we're going to do it. We're going to try it out, and we're going to have a fun time. And we'll probably bring it on the podcast. And I hope I can talk to someone there and ask them some questions.
And I hope our love of spirits lifted yours. And
we'll see you guys next week.
Run over.
Yeah.
We should just release that.
What?
Oh, just release that. That was the episode, and then on Tuesday do the rest.
Yeah, just like we'll always end at random points. Like it'll never be expected.
You never. Yeah. Oh man, talk about that's a good way to increase our downloads. Is like you got to download in like part 1,
shorten our episodes.
Part 3. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, how things going for you? What's new?
Things are good, man. Since we talked, did family pictures, got them back today, and I gotta tell you,
send them to me.
I am the beast to my beauties, man. These girls are just gorgeous. I have a beautiful family.
You got a fam, dude.
I do, and they're all beautiful.
I mean,
in their own
every
way.
single girl in that family is stunner,
drop dead,
and there you are.
It's and then
Robbie
here
Denbo.
I am.
No, I'm kidding.
No, seriously though, but anyway, we did family pictures this last week.
Please put them on the group me. I want to see them.
We'll do. We'll send some. It's hard to narrow down. Then, went to our friend's cabin, the one that we do fun whiskey shots with. Had a good time with Chuck Westerberg and his beautiful wife.
A beautiful man and a beautiful spouse.
Absolutely, and they got even more so after they became Patreon members. But it was fun. We got a little nutty. We did some cheerleading stunts, and it was amazing. And I realized I got to start working on my squat a little bit more because I got to get Chuck up stably. That's my problem.
That's kind of fun. Did you have pads to fall down on if you've messed up?
Oh no, just ground and pine needles, man. It was pokey and hard, but we had a good time. And that's then cool. I texted you. You never texted me back, but we got a trip planned with that same group to Phoenix.
Oh yeah, Scottsdale number 1.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna actually be in Phoenix. So, and I've been advocating. I said they were like, we have options. And I was like, well, let's rent a car because an hour and a half away we can get down to Del Bach. So
that's true.
I really like if I'm going to be down in that area, I really do want to get there. So
you really should because and Steven would probably be down to say hi as well as maybe that Mark guy who we haven't met, but it seems pretty cool.
Yeah,
we'll just put in a word. Yeah, they're awesome people.
Try to get down there. Maybe I'll try to bring the recorder. And try to do a little.
You might.
You got in. They did with you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm considerably less good looking, but I will give it my darndest.
Very good looking. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's sweet of you. Yeah. No, life's been good, man. Like, and the twins are kind of finally starting to like get into a groove.
That's great.
You know, it was
I saw a picture of Finley the other day, and I was like, she is a woman, a young lady. And I'm like, your kids are getting old, man. And they're getting like stunners. I'm telling you. Watch out.
They're cute. Watch out for them. They are dangerous. They put me through the ringer every night.
And Amara's like almost a teenager. Oh my goodness.
Dude, oh man, she's got to get braces.
Oh, that's hard.
Which is
that'll stunt it a little bit.
It was a little different. Like so the thing is like we did family pictures and we had like she's got this one tooth in the back where it's like it's definitely like needs some sort of like attention. Yeah. And I was like, but Mara, like just like her front teeth, like we did family pictures, and like they look great. Like you don't look like you need them. Well, she went to this to a new orthodontist that my sister-in-law works for, and they're like, huh, why hasn't she been in sooner? Like this is bad. Like talking about like the tooth.
Like, shut up.
Like the front teeth are great. So then like she's got like a little bit of underbite and things going on. And Mara's always complaining. She's like, I think I need braces. And we're like, no, your teeth are straight. You don't. No. Yeah. Reminds me of the time when she was a kid and she's riding her bike and she like fell in the grass and was like, my arm. I'm like, you're okay. You're okay. And then like never stopped complaining for 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, let's go to the doctor. Broke her arm.
Yeah.
Gosh. Kid was saying she needed braces, and then we didn't do anything.
You're still a good parent, Robbie.
Well, that's the thing is like, you know, like I don't know. there's more than meets the eye, because it's one of the things where yeah, you just look at it and you're like, oh, you're fine. Yeah, and then they transform into it. This is an emergency. We got to take care of it. So anyway, that's a big deal. Didn't know we're gonna have to spend money on that. So
yeah, that sucks.
Hey, speaking of your anxiety, we kind of transitioned. Do you ever meditate?
No.
I'm gonna send you an app. It's called Insight, and it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
And it's one. And
you told me about this.
Yeah, I've been doing it, and it's kind of cool because one of my issues is I definitely have like a script that I run through my head that is self-deprecating, and it's just like very hard on myself. Yeah.
Except for not a promiscuous lady.
No. But I call myself after 2.
Yeah.
Turn out
drunk again and look at the score.
Yeah. Oh boy. But anyway, no, it's really helped me a lot with like, I'll feel myself like my anxiety coming up, or like just like things like that. And like, it's been kind of cool because I'll do I do a 5-minute one every day. And like the script of it just kind of changes that talk in your head. We're like, dude, what are you worried about? Why are you stressing out about this? That's an okay feeling to have.
Yeah. But I got to know, here's the advice I need from you. When do you find time?
When like drive to work, I can do that. I'll just put my
or like, you can do it on your drive.
Well, yeah, I'm not, and they say like, you need to calmly sit on the floor, ground yourself. I'm like, dude, I don't got time to ground myself.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing for me is like, I've got this 4.5-minute meditation in my head where it's like, I know the drill. Now I can do it. I just sit down for a second when I start feeling like, oh my God, that's cool. And yeah, so it helps me. So nice. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And speaking of send it, it's about that time, Cole.
I guess so.
It is. Unless you got something else to say.
No, I got history to say. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
So let's send it to break. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Oh, yeah, we are.
So I have a ton of shout outs this week, and I have good history, but not too long history. So it's perfect. First, shout out to Marco and AZ. Hope you had a great honeymoon.
Congrats.
And I would say, I hope you had a great wedding, but I know it was a great wedding. But
I don't know.
Thank you. So check
this out. I have no clue. I only saw
what, because you weren't invited. That's hard.
I didn't even live stream.
I know. So I mentioned last episode, I think, that Ben Klepsig got me helped me get a bottle of Glengrant 18.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I think that's what it was. Yeah, you said, you mentioned it on the podcast.
Yeah, and so
I can't tell if
Marco
as a was or what you mentioned it.
But. Yeah. So Marco in AZ as a groomsman gift gave me a bottle of Glengrant 18.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so I got 2 bottles of Glengrant 18 now. And I'm loving it because I got to try it while I was out there too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Phenomenal.
Oh, oh man, I don't even have glasses ready. That's how unprepared I am, but friggin'.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, these sample bottles don't work.
Ooh.
That's a baller move. Oh, I got my crystal.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
That's okay.
So,
all right, I'm going to get glasses real quick. You keep shouting.
So definitely a non-Patreon, but still baller status ting for Marco and AZ. And happy new marriage. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations on marriage.
Second
marriage.
Shout out to Ben Klepsig, who today just couriered not only some bottles like the Glengrant 18 and future. Actually, he got, I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but he got 2 bottles of what will be a future drink along sample, which I'm really, really excited about. And I won't mention if I haven't already, if not, I haven't already. But he also put in some awesome other samples for future episodes as well. So big baller shout out, top baller shout out for Ben Klepsig. What a dude. Thirdly, Sean Ciaro congrats on the promotion. And thanks for sharing that with us. We love hearing those kind of things. Sean is being promoted at the end of this month to detective after being a cop, I think. Maybe that's not right, but I want to say he went from cop to detective. So cheers to Sean the baller.
A private eye is like a nickname.
I think a private eye is a private investigator.
Detective or investigator?
No, like I think you're not connected with the government or
But are you considered a detective?
I would say maybe not, but I would say maybe.
Sean, let us know, because the nickname for a private investigator is...
We should call him
a private dick, right?
I don't know.
I think it's like Dick Tracy.
Ah.
He was a detective, right?
Maybe he
was I don't know. I don't know my detection nomenclature.
But
I was just curious. Like, I would assume, like, if I was in a career where one of the nicknames for it was that, I'd have giggle fun with it all day long. I just don't know. Yeah. So anyway, congratulations.
We'll have nicknames like that in the actuarial world.
Yeah.
Anyway,
especially not in teaching.
Fourth.
Well, I'm sure my kids call me that.
Yeah. Miles Ferguson.
Hey, Miles.
And Miles was kind enough to share his Tomatin Cuboken, which is like the ghost dog release from Tomatin. And so thanks a ton, Miles. And you will be getting your... So technically this is what happened. I found his... Like, he always mentioned that he loved that bottle. I found it in Arizona. And he's like, get it. And then take some of your own for future drink... Or not for drink logs, for future episodes.
Baller
and then he's like, and then send the rest to me. So yeah, what a freaking baller! All right, another shout out. Fifthly,
2 for Patricia.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Fifthly, David Rockefeller for being a truly patient baller. One moment, because he still hasn't gotten his Patreon goodies, but he will be soon, because he earned some goodies, and I will make it worth it. I'll tell you, David. So I tell you what. You will have more than what we would have originally had, because you've been so patient. Lastly, we will be couriering out drink along samples this week. So keep an eye out and sign up on patreon.com/chillfiltered at a $10 tier or more to be able to be a part of the future drink alongs that will happen over the next 3 months. So that's all I got for the shout outs this week and the notes to get to. So let's get into what we're drinking today. I don't think we've mentioned it. We haven't at all.
Oh, actually. We haven't.
And so we're drinking Kilchoman Sanaig, which is, you might see it and read it as Kilchoman, but it's pronounced Kilchoman. And it's spelled Sanaig is the release, and it's pronounced Sanaig, I think, at least from a Scottish person that helped me out on the internet. So this is our first Kilchoman product on the podcast. We've done plenty of Isla distilleries, but this is a new one for us. I don't even remember ever even having Kilchoman. So this will be an altogether new experience for me, at least. I don't know if Robbie has, but no. So let's get to the background. We talked about Isla before. It's an island off the Inner Hebrides of Scotland, which is kind of the western rocky islandy coast of the country of Scotland. And we've heard of the big Isla distilleries like Ardbeg, Laphroaig, Lagavulin, Col Isla, Bowmore, Bruichladdich, but not everyone thinks of Kilchoman. In fact, Kilchoman is the smallest of the distilleries on the island, but it is growing. And it's only been around for less than 20 years, believe it or not. It was founded in 2005, as opposed to Bowmore, the oldest Isla distillery, which goes back to the late 1700s. But it was the first to be built on the island since 1908, which is pretty cool. Like over 100 years between that and the last one that was built. It is one of very few Isla or even Scotch distilleries, only 6 total, that still uses a traditional floor malting process we talked about malting, moistening, and then heating the grain as it grows. And it is the only Isla... where did I leave off? It is the only distillery and only Isla Distillery, but only distillery to do all the whiskey processes from growing the barley, malting to distilling to maturing to bottling, all on the island of Isla. A lot of Isla distilleries will get their barley from some other portion of Scotland, is from what I hear. So they're the only one that does everything on the island.
I like that.
Most of their and even some of their stuff is completely done right in their property, which is kind of cool. They do have some. So Port Ellen is a no longer in action distillery, but it was at one point it was a big Isla distillery. But anyway, they get some of their maltings from Port Ellen, which is closed or not closed, but it's just not running, I don't believe. And which is kind of cool. So, but they also do, like I said, grow their own barley on their own property, which just seems like a little bit of both is still going on these days. The older Port Ellen maltings were high in peat smoke. They were around like Ardbeg level, and Ardbeg's like mid-tier or like regular level of parts per million on the phenol scale is about 50. So the Port Ellen ones were around 50 parts per million on the phenol like smokiness scale. But the ones they malt themselves in their own malting, floor maltings, is typically in the 20 range of parts per million on the phenol scale. Not as smoky. Kilchoman has a few bottlings. One is the Mackir Bay, not sure if I pronounced that right, which is a single malt Isla at 46% alcohol by volume. And all of their bottlings are single malts, for the record. They also have Loch Gorm, which we actually have a sample of. And we will drink that in a future episode. But it's similar release, but this one's limited, and they do some cool specially finished batches that are released each year. There's another limited edition called 100% Isla, which I think is kind of cool. This is one of those ones where they don't use the Port Ellen maltings. They use their own maltings, and everything comes from Isla, as well as kind of their area to begin with. So legit. And that's a yearly release as well. So they're always a little bit different. Limited release. So, and then there's what we're drinking today, the Sanaig. And it was named after the inlet on Isla's Atlantic coast. It's kind of just directly north of the Kilchoman property on Isla. And it's not too far from where it is, but it's the Sanaig. Sanaig Moor, I want to say it's called originally, but they just call it Sanaig. Vatted in both sherry butts, which happen to
drives me nuts.
Yeah, every time. And also ex-bourbon barrels, but mostly sherry. In fact, mostly Oloroso sherry butts, apparently. It is part of their core range. This isn't a limited edition, what we're drinking today. Just like Mackir Bay.
Sherry.
Peat level is around 50 parts per million. So I'm guessing this is one of the Port Ellen malting grain. 46% alcohol by volume, 92 proof, aged around 4 to 5 years. So I don't think there's an age statement, but they say it's around 4 to 5 years. Purple label on the bottle. This will be interesting. Here's where I think this will be interesting. Is that normally young in terms of Isla is a 10, maybe 8 year for like Lagavulin 8 or Ardbeg or Lafroig 10. And they can be a little potent for the youth. And usually age and maturity brings that sweet peat mix. But we'll see in a 4 to 5 year, offering how that goes. A total wine price, $70. Let's crack this open. What do you say?
Let's do it. Oh,
Kilchoman.
Who sent this one in again? It was
this. I actually didn't mention that. This is from the baller himself, or did I mention it? Maybe I didn't. From the baller himself, Ben Klepsig. So, and if I'm wrong on that, I severely apologize. But I'm pretty sure this is Ben's writing. Ooh, nice color.
Whoa.
It like pours slow almost. I don't know. It doesn't.
Right off the bat,
it's like honey.
It's peaty, but it's like almost like a sweet tobacco kind of a smoke.
Yeah, it's different. And it's not bad at all. Like this is a very approachable, young Isla. It's and I think the sherry has a big impact on that, to be honest.
It is. It's like, gosh, and I'm not. Like, again, I am not a tobacco product connoisseur by any means, but I want to say this reminds me of like opening up a pouch of Red Man, which I probably have not smelled in forever.
Big
but it's
Chief,
like
the best.
Yeah. But it's like super sweet, just dark and tobacco smoky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Nose on it is phenomenal. I will say that. It's very rich. It's very smoky, sweet. I'm gonna go for a sip.
There is a sharpness in a good way. There's a sharpness to the peat, but it is a really well-rounded dark fruit, sherry, like the things you'll get from a sherry finish typically, like dark fruits, cherries, some just general plums and raisins even. You're getting a little bit of that, but there is a sharpness to the peat as opposed to like something like Ugadal or Korvrekken from Ardbeg, which have a really blend, it's not as sharp on the nose, especially for the peat. So what do you think?
I don't know. There's a lot going on there, a lot to unpack. It's very rich. It starts off light, off light on the palate, and then all of a sudden it just kind of hits you.
That's exactly what I said. I was thinking. Yeah.
It's but there's a lot going on, and I mean, this is not light by any means. Like this, there's a lot. Gosh, I just said it like 4 times. It's really, it's the smoke hits you. There's some sweet there. It's I don't know. I got to go for another sip. But there's a lot going on if I haven't mentioned.
Yeah, and it's truly complex. You're getting hit by a wave after wave with this one, which I love. I love whiskeys that can do that. One thing I'll compare this to is like Korvrekken, for example. Korvrekken starts sweet, shows a little bit of peat throughout the palate, and then like finishes in a nice pear way and stuff like that. This one starts light. It does. I believe it does start almost like, what's going on? Like there's not a lot here. And then all of a sudden there's this wave from below that's like, it's almost like salty. It's like you're in the ocean and all of a sudden this wave just hits you from below and you're like, oh,
dude,
wow.
So it's like if you
salty almost.
If you were to have a glass that's separated, right? And you have tap water on top, just a thin layer of tap water, and then it's ocean water. That's what this is, because it's really light, and all of a sudden it's like it's full force right there.
Yeah.
And there is like some it's like thick.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah, I like it.
It does remind me a little bit of Dorado by Del Baca. It's got like the smoke, where the smoke's hitting is almost mesquite on that level. I don't know. It's a different kind of peat than you usually get with an Isla, for sure.
I'll tell you this.
I'll tell you this first. I'm digging it.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think the blend and the continuity of the sweetness and peat isn't as continuous, if that makes any sense, as like Korvrekken or Ugadal, or to be even Del Baca Dorado. I do think this is segmented in weird ways, in not a bad way, but in a different way. It's like, all right, first light, all of a sudden a little peat, a little salty, a little campfire, but not like overwhelming campfire. It's never like an Ardbeg or a Laphroaig 10 or even a Lagavulin 8 where it's like a little bit too much at once. This is very well balanced for like a 4 to 5 year. I think they're doing a great job in that way. But I will say it is segmented, and it's not a bad thing. It's just different than what I remember of some of those other bottles I mentioned.
It's very savory. Like there's the sweetness, like
more than sweet.
Yeah, for sure. There is some sweetness there, but it is really just full on briny, salty, savory.
Yeah. Briny is a great word too.
Kind of reminds me of like a really like salty pretzel almost. Where it's just there's a small bit of like sweetness with the bread there, but it's just like I don't know. It's very savory. I'm digging this for sure. I don't know if I could drink this regularly.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what was the ABV on this too?
46, so 92. Okay.
And it gets you a little bit on the back end of the palate, but
but not in a bad way, in my opinion.
No, like it lets you.
It's it reminds light on the finish.
At first, you're drinking that tobacco smoky kind of a thing, and it's like, oh yeah, it was a whiskey, and like, oh, there it was, like, but in a subtle way. So
yeah,
did you drop your water?
I did. Just gave it the old spin J, and similar notes. Nothing really changed too much for me on the nose from the first one. Maybe a little lighter, but I'm still getting that nice tobacco-y. I wouldn't even call this campfire-y. I would just say just peaty. Sometimes peaty can just be like, yeah, it smells like a campfire, but sometimes peaty can just be salty, briny, smoky.
Okay.
And I'm getting those notes as opposed to like full out campfire. Sweet, a little more sweet on the nose, maybe.
A little sweeter on the nose for sure. A little, like fruit wise, I'm not able to pull out a lot of that fruit kind of sweetness.
That's a great point. I'm not getting like pears like I normally would with some Islas.
Gosh,
I am getting maybe plums, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that plum,
sherry,
that stone fruit, that sherry. Yeah, it's definitely like the nose. If you're gonna get a sweetness, it's probably from the sherry, right?
Yeah.
Which that in itself can drive you nuts.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you who. Okay. So this has definitely lightened it up. It doesn't start light and then go like boom, here I am. It's light, and then it has, oh gosh, I got to go for another sip. But there's something there where it just kind of it never goes to that like deep, strong hit you in the face kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Definitely lighter, a little sweeter. Man, maybe I should have rinsed my. I feel like that was the neat wise. It was so robust that I feel like I probably should have rinsed my palate going to the next one, because there's something going on that I can't get.
I think my only complaint with this is it's a little. It's really not like that big a deal, but compared to some older Islas, it is a little light. That's the only complaint I have. But the complexity is impressive. And I think if you're looking for your first complex whiskey, this might be one of your best options.
It's heat's amped up a little bit on the back end too. It is sweeter for sure. Sweeter for sure with water. I'll tell you that much. Definitely much more of that sherry finish.
Yeah.
Comes out. So no, I like this a lot. This is ballin'. It's this would be good. This is a good, I mean, just smoke wise, peat wise. I feel like a good cigar connoisseur, whiskey connoisseur could really pair this well with something, because I'm like, it's very tobacco-y. That even said, like, just this would be good. This is a great, I wouldn't say it's a great winter whiskey. Winter wise, I like to get into scotches. I like to get more rye. This would be great around like a Christmas Eve kind of a scotch almost. Yeah. I'm impressed. I do like it a lot.
Yeah. I think pairing this with a cigar is actually a great point. Like, this would go really well with any cigar. You just kind of go with it, So, fire in the hole.
No. It got stuck behind my molars, which I hate when No, I need to go to the orthodontist.
The nose is muted. Still got some of the smoke. Still got a little bit of sweet, but it's not as much as before for sure.
So I was just thinking, like, did I wash this wrong? Amara came in my room the other day. She's like, do you have a water bottle I can have? Because I washed mine and I did not rinse the soap out. And I was like, yeah, sure. And she goes, look, she took the lid off. It was like all bubbles. I'm like, did you spit that out after you drank it? She's like, I was in class. I was too embarrassed. So I just drank it. I'm like, oh, you drank straight dish soap.
Oh, rough.
Yeah. Definitely muted. Still
the Go ahead.
Light sweet tobacco still, but it's muted from the neat.
The palate's actually got a little bit more smoke than I remember the other 2 pours having. The smoke's showing up much more. I don't know if you're getting that.
On the back end, the smoke intensifies on the back end, whereas before it was more just kind of a heat and a little bit of the sherry sweet. I think the smoke is not on the front, but it's on the back end. Yeah, it's super smoky on the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
The finish is a little bitter for me too.
There's a slight. I can see where it goes that way.
I think I prefer neat, but water's not far behind. And then,
water's
but
a little
ice
different.
is not my favorite pour.
Water brings the sweet. Neat was definitely. I think I'm gonna agree. Neat was my favorite. I'm formulating.
Me too. I have a rating, so I'll let you.
Are you ready? You
think
go
a little
ahead.
more, but I'll go.
You got
it. 8.74 on this one.
Oh, okay.
What I love about this the most is the complexity, especially on the neat pour. You start light, start a little approachable, and then it's like, this like wave of briny, smoky Isla. And I think that's really special. You don't always get that. And I think it's something to be celebrated as a complexity to an Isla whiskey. It can happen easily on some Islas, but not all Islas. So I like this one. I like the smoke, but it's not blowing my mind. That's why I'm giving it. Did I say it?
8.75?
I'm going to go lower than that. I meant I'm actually, I don't know why. I was thinking somewhere between like 8.7 and a 7.7. So I'm going to meet in the middle, and I'm going to say an 8.27. I like it. I don't know why I thought that. I was like, wait, 8.7 sounds a little high. No.
Yeah.
8.27. It's not 7. It's definitely much more than an 8. But it's not in the 7 range. And 8.27. I don't know why I said 8.77 or 8.74. 8.24 is what I meant to say. Final answer.
Your first one, maybe I'm splitting the difference. We are fairly close. I'm going 8.5. This I think is really good. It's got the complexity that I like in a whiskey. It's
nice.
It's definitely different than I don't drink a lot of scotches all the in my free time. But it's definitely I think it has a niche for sure. If this is your thing, like it's really good. Like there's a lot of like the brininess, like it's tobacco-y. The sherry finish is there, but it's not what you get up front, right? Like it's a nice finish. That's kind of, you want your sherry butt to kind of trail behind, right? So the last thing you get, the last thing you see. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna just go straight 8.5. I like it a lot. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I like that.
Anything else cool? You got anything else?
No, I think it's about time to switch it over to our next segment of the show that we love to call. We don't just like to call it. We love to call it Whiskey World News. And
we're back. Part of the show where we read an article. We talk about it. Or correspondence. We didn't write it. We're just going to read it. And away we go. This one comes from my good friend Cole at chillfilteredpodcast.
That's me.
At gmail.com. Anyway, Cole got this from the newsletter committee at Ardbeg.
Yeah.
And this one is titled Introducing Hypernova.
I'm excited.
Smokiest Ardbeg ever. Speaking of smoky whiskeys, dear committee member, the time has come again to venture into the great beyond, and we are welcoming the emergence of another out of this world, is it really? Whiskey Ardbeg Hypernova. The latest bottling in the distillery's renowned Supernova series, Hypernova is inspired by solar explosions that occur in the deepest space and, like its name suggests, is a hyperpeated malt with phenol levels in excess of 170 parts per.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Hypernova is a dimension beyond the supernovas that came before it, a fabric-tearingly potent dram, and the smokiest Ardbeg on record. A highly experimental whiskey, Ardbeg Hypernova possesses a multi-magnitude never before experienced. This is a brutally smoky spirit that radiates flavor in every direction, turbocharging Ardbeg's signature smoke to pull palates in a whole new dimension. It'll be released in the USA on October 15th, 2022. Keep one eye on the sky, another on your inbox, and your spiritual third eye on Chill Filtered. We'll be issuing details of how to get hold of the bottle on the day. So there you go. Cole, I know you got thoughts because you sent it to me and we're like, let's do this because it's great. What are your thoughts, Cole?
So I think Ardbeg Supernova 2015 SN committee release was 108, I want to say, parts per million. So this is almost like 50% more, which is pretty legit. I am very excited. So listeners out there, if you see it, let me know. I would probably, snag it if you don't want it yourself. So keep an eye out, listeners. I would love to try this one and pay good money for such a smoky. So here's the thing: does peatier make it better? Not always, but does Supernova blow my mind? Yeah, it does. It's one of the best Supernova, like the SN 2015 committee release, was one of the best peaty whiskeys I've ever had in my life. So I would like to see if this can outdo it in a special way, but it might not. I mean, like Octomore is usually always going for like the top smokiest whiskey, and I think they do have this beat. I want to say like Octomore broke 200 on the phenol scale, but that doesn't really matter. Ardbeg does a great job, and I would love to try it. That's about all I got, but no worries. I am very intrigued.
No, I just want to know how many parsecs it would take to run this. No, was the parsec run? What is it on Star Wars?
Oh, did the Floridians or something?
No, but I know what you're talking about. That fits as well for the metachloridian chloride.
Wars, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Han Solo brags about doing something in like 22 parsecs. I don't know. That's the only thing that made me think of with phenol.
10.21 gigawatts or 1.21
flux capacitating. Phenols. No, I think I'm excited. If we can get it, that'd be great. I'd love to experience.
I'd love to get
Did it go to space? Probably not.
Probably not.
What does it celebrate space?
But it's cool. Yeah. Sure. In a cool way.
It kind of reminds me of when I take a shower.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I wash is the final front here, right here.
Yeah.
The last thing. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, poorly said joke. What does that mean? Well, it means it's time for what whiskey would you choose?
Hey,
I don't know, man. I'm trying.
So what do we got? Results from last week.
Last week, question was, what mini are you handing out to adult trick-or-treaters? Or trick-or-treater, which I said on the thing. You can hand it to more than one. I went with Jim Beam because I thought it was really accessible and, you know what? It's kind of neat. And then Cole went with what Cole does.
What I love.
Buffalo Trace. And Cole won that one 80 to 20%.
Split.
Yeah. Now, we did have a few write-ins, not as many as we usually get. Yeah, but
that's okay.
Our friend David Rockefeller, DJ Rockefeller 1991 with Buffalo Trace as well. And then he said Four Roses Select. Does Four Roses do a mini select? I don't know. I've never seen it.
Like a small barrel select? I don't know, but if they did, I would drink it.
I'd get into it for sure. I know they do the minis, just through standard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Matt Tom Marketer, hot chocolate with a Fireball mini. I could appreciate that, but I'd have to know the neighbor to drink the hot chocolate.
Yeah.
So, Bryce Marita, B_.
But that's Wisconsin where it gets cold.
That's true, and you just trust everybody. Yeah. And then they turned out your neighbor was Jeffrey Dahmer giving you hot chocolate. Have you watched that show yet on Netflix?
I only watched the first 2 episodes. I'm down to watch more.
I am not down to watch more. I got like halfway through the second episode. I'm like, this is too much. I'm done. It was like it's one thing when it's a horror movie and it's not grounded in reality.
But when it's like, real.
And then you see, his childhood. I was like, no, I can't do it. Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to go there. Like, the thing is, like, I used to like really be fascinated by that stuff, but as a parent, like that changed me, man. I'm like,
yeah, for sure,
I can't do it. Anyway, Bryce Muir with Bullet, cool bottle. Yeah, okay, I'll go with it. There it is a cool bottle.
Put a bullet in someone on,
and then he said
Halloween night.
if Blanton's was available, he would do Blanton's. Like Blanton's mini. I've never even seen a Blanton's mini.
Halloween night.
Drimhelm went with Makers, and Brian Rapp Fireball, and then there is one more that was messaged was C. Thomas Kidd went with Fireball as well. And I think I gotta agree. I when we gave this what whiskey we would choose, I was thinking like I'd probably do Fireball because most people, if they don't like whiskey, real whiskey,
especially if you got some hot chocolate with you.
Yeah, apple cider and Fireball, man, that gets me.
Yeah.
Oh, when we were at the cabin, we did a shot that was Fireball and Crown Royal Peach.
What'd you name it?
Delicious. It's not an appropriate name, but I would associate on the podcast. Nice. But the less controversial name with an inappropriate name was Peachy Balls. So, nice. Like but then they were like, wow, that's surprisingly good. I'm like, yeah, it was surprisingly good. But then I thought of those like Mexican candies where it's like the peach rings with the chili on the outside. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that totally makes sense. You get a little spice with the peach. So anyway, that was last week's What Was You Would Choose. Cole, what are you going to surprise me with this week's?
So shout out to Nathan Anthony for reaching out last week or so. He wanted to throw in one and say, and anyway, guys, you could always hit us up and say, hey, here's a good What Was You Would Choose. We're always
need them.
Yeah, we could use
them.
Sometimes
creative.
We're scrambling. We'll be like, so what would you drink when you're hanging out with the president? Or, but so Nathan reached out and said, it's chili season in Wisconsin, and you got a really good chili, like bean chili, beef chili, maybe some venison in there if you're crazy. Maybe not if you're Jeffrey Dahmer.
A little bit of human heart.
Yeah, you put a human heart in there, but so you got your favorite chili in front of you, and this is I'll explain why this is
Bush's baked beans, because Bush's baked beans make the best beans for any chili or occasion. If you're hungry for a bean, eat that bean because Bush's got it.
Yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage. It's one of those things where you're like, should we be paid for this? Maybe. Either way, we're gonna rep them because they're Bush's baked beans. Anyway. One day that's going to happen, and all of our listeners are going to applaud us. It's going to be better than any hypothetical time that I finished that was the Song of My People joke, and it was actually good. It's going to be like people are going to be like slow clapping us in the background, like, you did it, boys. You
sons of guns.
Yeah, exactly.
Tears rolling down.
So you got your Bush's baked beans chili.
Okay.
What are you drinking with that?
Chili whiskey.
It's a great question, because here's the thing is that some chilies, not always Bush's baked beans, but some chilies have some spice to it. Not all whiskeys taste good with spicy food.
When I do stew, I like to have, I'll just do regular Jameson. But stew is not chili. With chili, chili is a large bowl made considered fairly inexpensively. Now, it still can cost depending on what you want to put in it. But it's also a time commitment where you feel like I've got to honor this. And I feel like I'm being pulled just off the top of my head towards Maker's Mark. I feel like it's still semi-fancy. You pull up to a party with non-connoisseurs, you got that wax seal on it. They're like, ooh, this is nice. You go, yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
I mean, it's yeah, it's good. Don't get me wrong.
And it's not super large on the palate. Like, it doesn't like hit you in a certain ways. It's just sweet,
just good
and easy.
Sweet and weedy. So wheezy easy.
So that's what I'm going with. What do you got, Cole?
So yeah, no, it is a tricky one, because honestly, I don't like typically drinking whiskey with spicy food. But I thought about it today. We're drinking an Isla Scotch, and I really enjoy some smoke.
Yeah,
but when it's balanced well with some sweet. So I'm gonna go with one of my favorite Islas. I'm gonna go with Ardbeg Corv Reckon, so that it brings a little bit more boost to the smoky chili you might already be eating. So no need
You're
to
drinking,
add any
you're not adding
liquid
it.
smoke. Oh yeah. No,
you're adding it to your chili?
Pairs well. It pairs well with the chili. No, I won't be adding it to the chili. I'll be pairing it with my chili. So
gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna go with that to match with my Wisconsin Bush's baked beans chili. I'm gonna be drinking some Ardbeg Kornbrecken for the smoke and the sweet
baked beans.
Yeah,
Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Even better
because I have a can at the ready whenever my Bush's baked beans craving hits.
Whenever you bush those baked beans. So
the beans have been bushed.
So now is the time to talk about what we might be drinking next episode. I got to think about that because it's good to think about that ahead of time, but we didn't do that in this case. We're going American, though, I'll tell you that, because I feel like we haven't done we did Stag Junior last time, so it's not that far off. But let's go rye, maybe. Some of the ryes we got. Wilderness Trail, we have an 8. Yeah, let's do this. Michter's Barrel Strength Rye.
Perfect.
Versus Wilderness Trail 8.
Let's do them both right now.
Let's do them at the same time.
Back to back.
Skip next week. Let's just do another episode, a doubleheader.
Bean shooters afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. We should do that. We should just do bean shooters before every episode. That'll get us sponsored. Still,
what's your entry
still
bean?
A little word.
Barbecue. What's yours? Regular
bean. So good. Bacon infused. It's so good. So yeah, what's your entry buzz? What's your entry bean?
I just pulled the pork pieces out.
Yeah.
I always hated that.
So yeah, we're
Campbell's. Campbell's baked beans with the pork pieces. Ugh.
Nah. Only Bush's with the bacon pieces. Yep. So right between Michter's Barrel Strength Rye, and I believe that was last year's edition, versus Wilderness Trail 8-year Hundo Proof. Keep an eye out on this week's what was we choose on Instagram. Did a poor job last week, but I'll do a good job this week. So get it going.
You know what, Cole? No one cares. You're the greatest.
No one cares.
You're the goat. You're the goat of the Chill Filtered podcast. In fact, you'll be the first Chill Filtered host to get the Lifetime Achievement Award. I guarantee it. The first Lifetime Achievement Chill
Chili.
The chili.
Chili? Philly?
Chili. I think we go chili because that's a tie-in with Bush's baked beans.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
You'll be the filthiest winner of the first chili for the Lifetime Achievement. Yeah. And you know what, Cole?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that day comes.
I hope that I just get a Bush's Baked Beans sponsorship going with this podcast, and that they find it as awesome as we do.
And I hope that once they see that, they realize we could host any podcast about anything. Like, have you seen this movie? Where we just ask each other, have you seen this movie? Have you eaten this bean? Have you eaten this product? Like, have you smoked that? Have you and I hope that's what they do, Cole.
But most of all, listeners, I hope that our love of spirits lifted yours.
Virginia
is for lovers. Yeah, and lover brothers.
Oh.
Now let's just go with brothers and lovers.
Should have stopped it there.
Let's separate it.